I see the playground. I see food and pharmacy and clothing and weather indicators and entities that have been here longer than me, providing homes for pileated woodpecker like that old dead standing tree. Seeing the world's greatest backyard ever, and everybody should be saying the same thing about their backyard. I started with, it was called the Good Earth School. August 4th was my first class. $35 for the weekend, and it was basically shelter, water, fire, food, and some awareness. And no one showed. We had one person show, Colby Layton, who later on started his own programs called Sandy Rivers Outdoors for a while. It was so much fun back then. But I've learned a lot, and I'm still learning a lot. I don't think this school will close down when I'm done learning what nature has to show. And I don't think it's going to close down in this one lifetime. So
there's no way that I would ever learn what's going on, and it's constantly changing. So there's just so much to learn and so much going on out here in the woods. It's really exciting. I took off from New Jersey after graduating college, and I came up to Maine. Through a couple different herbalists that I stayed with that summer, I met people who were studying here at the Maine Primitive Skills School, and I saw them doing bow drill one night in a cabin, and I was like, wow, that looks cool. I've never seen that before, but something feels really cool about it. And so of course I had to try it, and I was already into medicinal plants, and I came here and I met Mike, and I started taking classes, and I quit my job at the health food store in New Jersey, and I came up here and lived in the woods for about 6 months on and off, taking classes here that summer, and then the next spring Mike asked me to move in as the first residential apprentice. That was 4.5 years ago, and I've been here ever since, pretty much.
this school is just one of many expressions of our ancestral wisdom coming back online. Something's happening. People are finding out that there is something greater going on in existence than the 9-to-5 treadmill. They go outside and they feel awe because of the sunrise, and they stop long enough to see the bird in the tree that's singing. There's something pulling us back as a community to the landscape, whether it's through permaculture or going outside to do your yoga or tracking or nature awareness or survival. There's an excuse to go outside, and we're all sharing in it. And I think we're on the cusp of a great age with these skill sets. This lodge is unfinished. We're hoping to finish it within the next 2 years. This is based on a traditional shelter design handed to us by Ray Ricci. We lovingly call him Grandfather Ray because he's one of the elders who, for most of his life, lived it. Here's our big concession to modern life. It gets pretty dark and cold in the winter. I thought a big window would help brighten things up a little bit.
Gonna hang some bird feeders right outside it too. This lodge took us about a week to initially build, and it was a gift from Grandfather Ray. So most of the pieces were already sized and put together. The poles were already scraped, which is a big job. And we got it from his land and we brought it over to here.
Hey, come on in, the door's open.
Grandfather Ray talks about simple and practical living. He says, life is simple and practical, keep it that way. And so this is, for me anyway, one of the ways that we can live that is simple and practical. We can get these balsam fir trees from our property, the rock foundation from the property, the sod and the dirt and the mulch that goes on top of it, right off the land here.
The expectancy of this shelter is almost a century. To last that long with natural materials and biodegrade into nothing but a mound of fertile soil is a pretty cool footprint to leave behind.
Primitive skills is ancestral skills, everybody's ancestral skills. It's within all of us, I believe, and some people are more interested in it than others. We get such an amazing diversity of people through here, from military survivalists to these doomsday preppers, all the way to, you know, the hippie side, earth firsters. It's really amazing the variety that we get here. Men and women from all over the country, sometimes all over the world. Students have come from South America, Ireland, England, Australia, all different genders, all different ages, people looking for different things. It's really amazing.
I see the promise of spring coming is what I see on this backyard. Yeah. You know, it started for me with a bucket of sticks, but it didn't start with me. It started with the old ones, the ancestors, all of our ancestors. You track our lineage back far enough and they had a backyard like this, but it was bigger and it was raining with biomass. Passenger pigeons darkened the skies and butternut came down in such quantity that there were hip baskets. It would take, what, 2, maybe 4 hours a day to feed the people you loved. The people you cared about were the ones you were working with and for. And then the rest was leisure time. And that's what I see in this backyard is the promise of getting back to that. And I don't know how that's going to look in our modern world, but it's coming. Because what we're doing to ourselves in the modern construct in comparison to what we do here every day is unsustainable and intolerable. So you ask me what I see? In my backyard, I see the promise of a better future for our children and our community to include the landscape. Maine Primitive Skills School, your one-stop shop for all your primitive skills, survival, community building, and permaculture needs. That's all I got to say about that.